So welcome back. This is episode number 2. I do have a guest who is hell-bent on interrupting. And here she is. So this episode is going to be on skates and rays. Again, my most important specimens are already at museums. I only have one that was actually found in the cliffs. And that was a rather large section of dental plate that was broken into two pieces that were not only a short distance from each other, less than 6 inches, but also horizontally separated from each other. These here are from the Leak Creek, aka Aurora, North Carolina. This one's also from North Carolina. This was recovered back in the 90s when we had flip phones. And I did not have one at the time, but I ran over and had somebody come over and take a picture. And as you can see, that specimen was found actually in someone's footprint. And that white piece there is what that was bleached out showing. The rest was in the pungo sediment. Jim Bordone of Elasmo.com has told me he thinks this might be a new species, but haven't been able to really get anyone to get some serious interest in it yet. Most people like the big kind of whaley, sharky things. This is an actual poster size. You can see the size down here, 4 7/8 by 9 5/8 by 11 16 by George Powell, who was a guide there at PCS for a number of years. This was found associated with the set of Paratodus shark's teeth that he found in the mine. So that's actual size. Compare that with my most complete size that was found along the cliffs. A few of you might recognize this from the video of that being uncovered at Bayfront Park years ago. This was actually way out in the water, and only the top little bit of the specimen was showing out of the mud, and something just told me that to get the CMM over there to take a video of that, and we actually have a video online of the extraction of this. So this is really a beautiful piece. It will eventually be donated to the museum. This one was found further down the cliffs on a day where I had found nothing, and many people had been out that day looking, and at the end of roughly my 2-mile hike, this was laying out, not as this side, but as this. And I thought, since it was covered up with some sand, it might actually be a partial boot heel. But as soon as I picked it up, I could tell that, wow, I really had a piece of a monster here. And I'm hoping that over the years, other collectors found additional pieces of it. These are the most common things that we find of rays, is just 1 or 2 of the individual rows. Sorry, we do still have that insisting guest. But every now and then we will find some rather interesting things, such as the skate, the scoots. Every now and then we'll also find a rather large barb section. I was able to help the Virginia Museum of Natural History quarry one of these barbs. This one's actually shark bitten. You can see the groove right here. And it's taken some beating over here, suggesting that it may have been at least ingested at one time due to the porous nature of the bone. There we go, that's a much better picture. The one that was found at Westmoreland was almost complete, measuring over 8 inches, including the what I would call the start or thumb. If you ever saw it, it actually looks like a little rounded piece, and then the barb continues out from that contact point to the body, going out to the tip. And again, these are just some of my collections, and you can tell these things hurt. If you've ever unfortunately stepped on one of these, in nature. These will go right through you, and I think we're all aware of how Steve Irwin perished. You can imagine how easy that could occur with the size of some of these. But these scoots, this is another thing that you don't usually find. That's because the other side looks rather boring, and unless you pick up everything that you think might be a piece of bone and turn it over, then do you only see the enamel. So the lesson with these is really to look for anything. With shark's teeth, you're usually looking for something that has a U shape or a V-shaped root and a difference in color, where these critters seems to almost always go jet black, and they're more straight. But to find the scoots, you really need to be looking for anything. This I just recently posted last night in reply to somebody. This is the largest scoot that I have, identified as Raja, from, again, Lee Creek Mine, North Carolina. That's Yorktown Formation, probably 5 million years old. Here is a tiny one from Big Brook, New Jersey. So again, not something that you normally would find when looking for shark's teeth. But again, keeping your eyes open, looking for anything that's a little different, a little something that catches your eye. I tell everybody on my tours, pick it up, take a look at it. If you're not sure, ask questions, because you never know what you can find.